Hello, my cherished ducklings. Hello. Stop, sit, listen, and watch. I've got a lot of great info for you today. So let's see if we can fit this all in. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad we're anywhere. Normally, I like to start off by, telling a story about my recent occult experiences, or metaphysical. That's a better word. Although the word occult means to take something from the inside and take it outside, or occult means hidden. But I don't know about you. There was a full strawberry moon last night, and I have been just so blonde. I've been so blonde, and I'm not even really blonde. Not walking into walls, but walking into a room and standing there and being like, I came in here for something. And then 3 years later, I'm still in the same room. If you've been feeling a little woohoo the last 24 hours, blame it the full moon. And if you haven't, let me blame it in the full moon. And you go do you. Now, one of the things I did want to talk about today was, and then we're going to get very fast to the tarot weather for the week, the psychic weekly weather. But one thing I did want to talk about is every week I'll notice in my consultations with all the beautiful people I get to work for, I love my clients. But I'll notice themes coming up every week. People will just be saying the same thing in each reading. I mean, not exactly. That would not be good if they're both talking about the same guy and whatever. But I've noticed this week that people are sort of saying they're sort of stuck in the same way. And we help them get past it, because that's a reading is not just, I see a tall, dark, handsome man, woman, gender of choice person in your future, although that is a nice part of it. What I'm seeing a lot is that people are having a hard time when reality doesn't match their sort of very precise, made up in their head expectations. And I don't mean that in a bad way. We all do it. But what I see is people rejecting a really good life that they're in because what they're getting is not exactly what they asked for. And so I'm going to ask you to look around your life for a second. Go like this. Good. Well done. And see what is working. Take a moment and see what things, what people, what wonderfulness is in your life that you asked for or you wished for. Because it's sort of like sending a thank you note to the universe when we notice, oh, wait a minute. I wanted to live in a really nice house with a bunny in the backyard, and that's where I live. Or it's just sometimes we can really take our blessings and our own power for granted. The other thing I wanted to say was that sometimes we'll think we want something, but if you think it through, we might not actually want it. And sometimes if somebody or something is not in our life at a certain time, it might be because secretly we don't want that thing or that person, or it's not that we don't want that person, but sometimes I'll ask a client who's, really focused on not having a partner. And if you want to not have a partner, spending all your time really focusing on not having a partner is a really good way to not have a partner. But I asked somebody yesterday, it seems to me like you really enjoy living by yourself right now, that you're really discovering yourself. You like the freedom. You're finding out what you like and how to decorate. And I know when you get into relationships, you really throw yourself into them and sometimes lose sight of yourself. Are you sure that you want a partner right now? And she's like, yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hmm. Um, so that's something to think about. If you're beating yourself up for not having something or someone or being or doing something, um, if you're not doing it or if you're not actively pursuing it, you might not at this moment, and if moments change moment to moment, you might not want it. Um, so just something to consider because this is a time, this summer is about all of us taking back and recognizing our own power. Um, and that's a great feeling. The only downside is you don't get to be a victim, but you know what? That gets kind of tiresome. Um, so, okay, enjoy owning your own power. Look around, see what's in your life that you really wanted and you have. You might not even notice that you have it. Okay, we're going to do the tarot weather for the week. And of course, I always put the tarot on the floor. Enjoy the view of the top of my head. Um, and we're going to pick 3 cards, and we do this. I don't know why I'm referring to me as we. Um, so is that a royal thing? Do the royals refer to themselves as we? And then they do that funny kind of. Maybe I'll practice that wave. Anyway, um, the 3 cards I'm going to pick are the beginning, the middle, and the end of this week. And here's what the first part of this week looks like. And if you're watching or listening, this applies to you. And again, sometimes we have to look a little for something. So if your first reaction is, nah, look around and maybe it's a little more true than you think or is about to be true. And the first card is from very, very vintage deck. It's the 5th house card. And the 5th house is kind of the falling in love card, that moment when it's like, it sort of feels like a cross between, I don't know, gambling when you're pretty sure you're going to win, tightrope walking. I don't know, that little frisson of what's actually going on here. Something else you might not be noticing is I've noticed that a lot of people don't, we're all sort of used to putting ourselves down or kind of having a who, me thing, or thinking that we have to be perfect in order to attract the right person. We have to be thinner, we have to be taller, we have to be shorter, we have to be meaner, we have to be, Lithuanian. I don't know. But that in fact is true. You have to be Lithuanian in order to attract a partner. But let's move past that. Sorry, a little silly today. This card, the 5th house, is like Leo. The 5th house in our horoscope, 5th house energy is about falling in love. It's also about being on stage and performing, which is sort of like falling in love, except that, well, they both have vulnerability in them. It's also about, trusting and learning to trust again, no matter what, because it's a lot more fun. If you're currently not open to a relationship, and that's fine, but if you want one, but you're like, I can't trust anybody ever again, remember that if that's because you were with somebody who treated you badly, or and you can't trust anyone ever again, now that they're gone, if you're still living like that, they won. And you know what? Let's all win in our own lives. Let's not let the schmucks win. Okay. So this is a time in your life when you might be beginning of the week time when you might be sort of like, am I falling in love? Is this person actually flirting with me? Is this person expressing interest? Even though I'm doing my damnedest to ignore it. So that's the beginning of the week, maybe throughout the whole week. But just be open to the possibility that you're much more attractive than you think at this, just as you are in this moment. And that, yes, they probably are flirting with you. And flirt back. It's fun. And the second card is, wow, this is a great card. This is an uncomplicated card. I'm going to show this to you. Boop, boop, there. And this card is about, the Wheel of Fortune card is about essentially the Wheel of Fortune turning. And, oh, Linda in Indiana. What a great thing to say. Hi, Linda. I'll be with you in about a minute. Thank you for holding.
Okay.
Fortune card is about the Wheel of Fortune turning. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Old song. And essentially it comes down to this. Your luck was not good. It's about to really change for the better. It's that simple. People are like, oh, well, this is a symbol. It's not a symbol of anything. Your luck sucked. It's suddenly going to change for the better. Enjoy it. Also, this is another thing. The theme for this week is see what's actually happening. See what's there rather than kind of being a little blind because you want it to look like something else. So, okay, the last one, and then we're going to get to Linda. Oh, this is interesting. This is a family legacy card. This could be interpreted a number of ways. It could be that you've been, for some reason separated from your kids for a little while and you're about to see them again. It could be that you're going to a family barbecue. It could be that the family legacy also has to do with like family history and inheritance. You might be deciding to study, your family genealogy. One thing I would say, it's a good time for this because we're about to enter the sign of Cancer. Although we're very Gemini right now, we're not going into Cancer till the 20th. But it's a good time to interview the older people in your family about family history, because those little anecdotes, the little things that they don't even know are sort of family history, they're just fun stories. Get those on, I was going to say tape. Get those on tape. Record them. And maybe if this is a summer, we're also going to be spending a lot of time healing our families, which is wonderful. And I know that's happening. And so thank you for listening. And let me know if your week went like that. Okay? Thank you. Hi, Linda in Indiana, or Lindiana, as we like to call you. Hi. How are you?
Pretty good right now.
Good. Well, right now is pretty much all we have.
Yeah. I wanted to see if we could connect with my boyfriend of 9 years.
Did he pass recently?
Yes, ma'am. January the 7th.
I'm so sorry. Well, first I'm going to ask your birthday. That's how I connect people.
My birthday?
Mm-hmm.
October 3rd, 1964.
Oh, you're a Libra born in the year of the dragon. And I'm so sorry. He passed fairly, I'm getting. You told me when, but you blipped out for a second. And he's already showing up. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys were really well matched, too.
Yeah.
Well, you had a really, a lot of couples, they've been together for 9 years. Sometimes the fun or the magic, people are kind of comfortable living more in like resentment, making other people wrong. You guys didn't really do that. Good for you. You had a lot of fun together. And I think your relationship got better as it went along. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. He seems to have a fairly straightforward, like all-American guy kind of name, which would be correct because he's kind of an all-American kind of guy. The way I mean that is when I was coming up, that would mean like, a guy, just somebody who, yeah, a very American archetype, a very, very loving kind of guy next door archetype. Wow. Did he have, wow, he's got a lovely smile. Do you have dimples? I mean, do you have a slightly round face?
Yes, ma'am.
And he wasn't a skinny guy, but he was very huggable. Oh, he's adorable. I don't think he was that tall, like 5'9". Is that about right? Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, maybe 5'8.5". And he's got a name like Bob. I'm not saying it's, oh, he's so happy to. Hi. Did he call you Lindy, or he had a couple of nicknames for him? I'm not sure that was, hold on. Well, baby. He called you baby all the time. But
He called me country girl most of the time.
Oh, that's so funny because the song I was getting when I was saying All American Boy, I was going to say, like, thank God I'm a country boy. He's a very country boy. And that's something I think you really had in common. I feel like you did a lot of like wholesome outdoor pursuits together. And wholesome indoor pursuits. Yes. I also feel like, oh, honey, just so you know, not only is he fine, he's more than fine. He's with you so much. Do you have a son?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you have a few. There's one he especially either connected to or was worried about. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. My youngest son.
Oh, your youngest son is lovely. He's very sensitive. It feels like he's a little lost, and he really loved having that father figure. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. You have the best manners ever. I grew up saying yes, ma'am, and I love it when, thank you. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry he didn't get much time to prepare, but he was prepared. There's a reason this is slightly painful, so I'm sorry I'm asking it. Were you with him when he passed?
No, ma'am. I was at the hospital when they turned the light machine off, the light support.
Well, what he wants you to know is you don't have anything to feel guilty about. You gave him the best 9 years of his life. He got to relive and rediscover parts of himself. I think he'd been in a very bad relationship previously, because I think he was a loving, open, and generous soul, and I think he was with a very mean lady, and I'm sorry to say that, but is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very sorry about that. I think that you, in past relationships, this was a very different relationship for you because it helped you love yourself, because he just loved you. He didn't, like what we were talking about before, you didn't have to lose weight, and not that you needed to. You didn't have to put on fancy clothes or lipstick. He loved you, and you loved him. And just thank God you had that. And you guys really knew each other and really accepted each other. It's going to take a while to get over. And I'm so sorry that he left early. When he appears to you in dreams, which he's already done, he's going to do more now that we're talking. Know that that's a visit. It's not just he's there with you. He's also, you can talk to him. And if you sit and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, you'll be able to connect to the energy he is now. I do that with my mom who just passed. And because I was so busy crying over her that I wasn't giving myself a chance to feel that she was actually with me until she did a few things to make it very clear. But he's very much with you. I know he has kids too. For some reason, it's possible because love is super expansive. We can be with all of the people we love at the same time, but we get to choose who we kind of want to hang out with not in person, but kind of in person. So he's with everybody he loves, but he's really with you. And you've noticed this in your home. You've noticed things either being moved or there being like feathers unexpectedly. I was crying about my mom last night, and feathers were one of her things. I just changed the place is clean. I pulled back the sheet this morning to, make the bed, and there was an enormous hawk feather. And unless I did something I don't remember, so be open and be open to being really surprised, because he's going to communicate with you very specifically. I guarantee, please let me know when that happens. And he loved you.
He's so will.
Okay, thank you, my love.
Does he know I was at the hospital with him?
Does he know
they
what?
They turned it off. Does he know that I was at the hospital with him when they turned that light support off?
He was waiting for you to be there. And it doesn't, whether or not he could communicate, he was there. I mean, he was fully present. Oh, we have 3.5 minutes left. So how about a couple more minutes? Is there, wow. And I just like to say to my viewers, all of my cherished ducklings everywhere and hold on, Linda, stay there for a second. I just want to make this little announcement. So all of my viewers and listeners, just so you know, I always write your name in a list and I do healing stuff for you during the week, my healing meditation, and send you good luck and love and stuff like that. Which means that if you win the lottery, I'm entitled to 10%, but probably not to 10% of your romantic partner because that could get messy and awkward. But we're in Canada, all of the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, all of the US, probably in Jupiter. And just next week, we're going to be having a little contest, and you can win a private session with me, an hour long, which is normally $400. And I just love you guys. I'm so grateful. And Linda, I'm so grateful for you. Is that the end of our show?
You. I am.
Okay. Linda, the last thing I wanted to tell you is the more, I believe me, I know, I so feel for you. So the two things, you know what, more than two, just take a deep breath, go into the quiet place you go into when like you're in prayer, you know, that kind of quiet being with the God or the universe, and just feel his energy. He's going to appear to you. You'll feel his energy. It's very young and you'll note that he's left the human realm because he's just so happy and he wants you to know that and he wants to share that with you. So be open to that. He's going to tell you some very cool things. You'll be able to hear them whether you think you can or not. And the other thing is, I find that when I'm having a good old cry about people I miss, that I just make a list of all the things I loved and I'm grateful for about them. And they're always with us. And then later on, we're with them. So that's it. I just sending you so much love, Linda. And know you're loved and know you're really special.
You.
Okay, let me know what
Thank
happens.
you.
All right, sweetheart.
I sure will.
Get in touch with me on Facebook. My name is Peri, like Periwinkle, P-E-R-I, Peri Lyons, Lyons. Mwah. And for all my cherished ducklings and everyone, come back next week at 9 EST. I'm here, and you know, I really care. I really do. Also, I'm really good. All right, love you. And we'll see you next week, ready or not. See you soon, babies.